Thank you so much. Thanks so much for that lovely intro. And good morning, everyone. As Ryan mentioned, I'm Julie Meredith, VP of Marketing at Hudson. And so for those of you who may not be familiar with Hudson, we are a visual marketing software that helps brands to create and share photos and videos that people care about. So Hudson really takes it to the next level by empowering brands to predict the performance of photos and videos, analyze trends, and accelerate brand growth across key visual marketing and e-commerce channels. We're proud to work with some of the world's top brands like Apple, Sephora, Urban Outfitters, and of course, AERIN, which is why I'm especially excited to be sitting down with you today, Angela. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Julie.
So I would love to kick off our session today with a fun question. So since this is a Women in Brand Marketing Summit, I'd love to know, who is your favorite female business leader to follow on social media?
So it's a difficult question. There's many amazing leaders on social, but I'd have to say AERIN, if I can say AERIN. I am constantly inspired by her every day. She takes so much inspiration from her grandmother, Estee Lauder, whether that be, the mentality of hard work and passion or balancing work and family. She really instills everything from Estee into her business today. So she continues to be, a major source of inspiration for me, both, personally and professionally. I also feel she's very true to who she is in social media. She really presents an authentic view of herself. Many times in social, you see, influencers or others trying to convey an image that may not be, who they are authentically, but who they feel that their followers are looking for them to be. So I really, admire AERIN for her authenticity and how that she carries that through social and through her brand.
Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Authentic connections with customers is truly the most critical piece of social marketing. So you have worked at some incredible brands, ABC Carpet and Home, Millie, and now AERIN, just to name a few. So I'd love to start off by hearing a bit about your career journey and how you got into marketing.
So it's very interesting. I actually started my career in PR. And, part of my attraction to PR was really, connecting with customers. And I think throughout my career, as I evolved from PR to marketing and then to digital, I really have aligned my career with sort of the evolution of consumer behavior. And I felt like, starting in PR, it was learning how to tell stories through media and communication with customers. And as the landscape has evolved, I feel like the lines have blurred from PR to marketing to social media to e-commerce. And I've tried to position my career in that way and evolve my career to align with that consumer behavior. I learned so much in PR, and I think it's so interesting how PR has evolved into social media and has sort of cut out that middleman of, let's say, the media outlet. And now brands have a way to connect with consumers directly through social media and digital channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love what you said about the evolution of PR marketing triggered by social media, the advent of social media. So we kind of chatted about this in our previous conversation. I also come from a PR background as well, and I can absolutely relate. So I got into marketing for social media software platforms about 11 or 12 years ago. And at the time, Twitter had just become this massive part of the customer experience and a tool for brands to engage with their customers and provide customer experience. And not long after that, it transitioned from being used mainly as this customer service tool to a marketing platform as well, which I loved, because the thing I was always really passionate about in PR was that commitment to two-way communication and dialogue, like you said. And in this way, social media was really blurring the lines between PR and marketing, and brands are moving away from solely focusing on those traditional one-way marketing channels like billboards, direct mail, and TV, and pulling in this consumer engagement aspect into marketing, which I absolutely love. So marketing is, of course, an ever-evolving and rapidly changing field. And as marketers, we're constantly faced with new obstacles and challenges. And I'm sure the marketers on the line would love to hear what you would consider to be your biggest challenge in your career so far.
Well, I think it comes naturally with digital. So digital is ever evolving. And I think my role, in my past experience has really been, facilitating and leading change. And that is not easy. I think just innovation in general, you're faced with a lot of obstacles. And it's something that I've learned a lot over the years of how to guide and lead organizations through this landscape, and to drive change, and to lead and inspire. And it's something that there really is an art to it. It's not something that is easily accomplished. And I think as leaders in this day and age, it's something that we all have to learn how to guide and lead within organizations. So I would say that has been, one of the greatest challenges that I've faced and I continue to face. And I think through the years, like I said, I've really learned how to navigate it.
Mm-hmm. So switching gears just a bit, I wanted to touch on something that I found exceptionally interesting in our previous conversation. So you have a unique experience of having worked for many brands that have been led by incredibly strong, smart female founders. So what characteristics do you look for in a leader that you'd want to work with?
I think it's really important to find a leader who is actively involved in the business, that can trust their employees, that is on board with growth. I think that's so important, especially in digital. Oftentimes you run into founders who say they're on board, but when they actually realize what it entails, they sort of dial back. So I think it's really important to find a leader that understands the importance of digital and how the ecospace is rapidly changing, and the willingness to invest and trust their employees that they are going to guide their business in the correct direction. I also think that working for a founder that is inspirational is also incredibly important. I feel like when you're working for somebody who you are continually inspired by every single day, makes you work harder. So that is definitely something that I look for in a founder or leader of an organization.
Absolutely. And as a marketing leader yourself, I'd love to hear as well, what characteristics do you look for when you're building a team?
Yes. I mean, given the fact that, I'm in digital right now, I really look for digital natives, somebody that is, very involved in the platform, both personally and professionally, and is willing to continue educate themselves, keep up to date on the latest changes. Again, we're working in a space that's rapidly evolving and changing, and there's new releases and updates every single day. So I'm really looking for someone who is really immersed in the culture of digital, as well as somebody who's, has the ability to wear many hats and is very agile, and willing to get their hands dirty. I think that's so important. So many times we could be working on a project and, my team may have to, chip in an area that may not be within their wheelhouse or, specific to their role. And I think that's just the nature of of digital in general. So really looking for someone that's, willing to step outside of the boundaries. And obviously looking for someone that has, a lot of drive and passion, because I feel like, that's what business is built on. It's really on, passion and drive. So, looking for someone like that.
I absolutely agree. And, when it comes to passion and drive, it's like you really see curiosity coming with that as well. And it's the curiosity to really understand the why behind the results, which I think is essential to optimizing and growing. Absolutely. So my next question, what has been your biggest win or achievement in your career that you're most proud of?
So I think from a professional perspective, it's been the ability to sort of guide my career in a direction from, PR to digital. Like I said before, I've always been passionate about innovation and in driving change within organizations. And I feel over the years, I've been able to sort of align with the way that landscape has been evolving. And I really am very grateful I've had that opportunity. And I'm very happy, with the direction that my career has taken me. On a more of a personal level, I am, very grateful for the ability to be a leader within, the industry as well as have a family. So I think that, the ability to balance both family as well as a professional career has been something that I'm incredibly proud of.
Absolutely. Those are certainly impressive accomplishments. So now looking at the developments in marketing and the future of marketing, there have been so many incredible changes and developments in the digital space, creating a lot of opportunity for creativity and also ROI. What channels, formats, or tactics are you most excited about for brand marketers to take advantage of as we finish off the year and head into 2022?
So I would say this goes a bit beyond 2021 and 2022, but I'm really excited about the AR, VR space, or I guess you could say XR. There's so many ways to describe it, but how brands are going to interact and engage with consumers in that space. Like you look at today, so Ray-Ban is launching a pair of glasses with Facebook. And obviously Facebook is a social media channel. So like, how are we going to engage with consumers when the digital and physical worlds collide? And that's something that I think is very interesting to me as a marketer. And I think that, marketers should start to educate themselves on it, even though that we're not there yet. But if you think about any sort of, evolution of media or technology, it's really aligned with, human behavior and consumer behavior. So as consumers start to adapt and engage in this way, as marketers, we need to figure out how we can then integrate ourselves into those environments.
For sure. And it's interesting too that it's during periods of immense economic change that you often see innovation efforts tend to rise at organizations. And how do you think AERIN has innovated in terms of its digital brand strategy this year or over the last couple of years?
Sure. So I'm fairly new to the brand. So I've just joined about 4 months ago. And I think what was really interesting and eye-opening to the brand is over the past year during COVID, they really saw that digital had a huge potential for growth. The brand started out primarily brick and mortar through our wholesale channels. And we really saw over the past year the demand for e-commerce and digital. And I think what's so unique to the AERIN brand is really that brand experience. And as I've joined the company, I've started to think about of ways to elevate the brand experience and the lifestyle of AERIN into our, our digital platforms. AERIN as a brand is, as a human and as a brand she's so inspiring, and our customers, they look to live like AERIN, dress like AERIN, entertain like AERIN. And that's something that I'm working on very closely with my team, is like, how can we leverage technology to improve and elevate the user experience on AERIN.com, as well as through our social and media channels. And I think that, as we look at how the landscape is changing and how digital is becoming such an important part of consumers' lives and their shopping behaviors, it's important for brands like us, who were primarily, brick and mortar or more traditional retailers, to figure out unique and creative ways to engage our customers and offer a more elevated experience, from a digital perspective.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when it comes to data and insights, well, it's really at the heart of what we do at Hudson as a platform, and how we make our own decisions internally as well, marketing decisions and business decisions. So I'd love to hear how you use data to make decisions about marketing and content strategy for AERIN.
Sure. I mean, we are looking at data every single day and every single hour. We are very much immersed into behavioral data. So understanding, time on site, time on page, what our customers are clicking and engaging with, whether that be through our site or through social media, and leveraging Hudson to see, what are our most engaged posts, what is our effectiveness rate. And I think that informs our strategies and our decisions as we are producing new content. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to be serving our customers content that's useful to them. So I think, really looking at those behavioral insights really, they provide us with a lot of data and information that we can leverage then to develop our strategies moving forward. We'll look at the conversion rate for specific pages or specific edits or features. A big part of our business is the curations and the edits that convey, AERIN's point of view and are reflective of like her lifestyle, and to understand, these are areas of our business that we need to expand, invest more into. A lot of that is driven by the data that we obtain from our digital experience.
And you mentioned a couple different metrics there. So if you had to choose the most important metric to understand consumer engagement, or I guess just what is the most important marketing metric to you?
So I would say it would be split between time on site or session time and time on page. That's something that we've been looking at to understand how engaged our customers are with our brand and our site experience. So I think our business is a bit unique. We're more of a discovery-based brand. So we don't see customers coming to our site knowing exactly what they're looking to buy. They really are engaging within the shopping experience. So when we notice that our customers are spending more time on our site and they're viewing more pages, and then converting, and our conversion rate is going up, we know that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, which I think is a much smarter long-term strategy when it comes to optimizing for the customer life cycle. Instead of kind of like a one-time purchase, it's building those repeat customers and building those relationships with that experience.
Absolutely.
So a hot topic of 2021 has been social commerce. In the last year, so many new additions to social channels have been added to encourage social commerce. And brands are finding more and more creative ways to tie social to e-commerce activities. So what is your take on all that?
So I'm on the fence. I'm all for social commerce. However, I feel that, Facebook and Instagram are essentially finding ways to monetize their business, and they're not really thinking about the brand experience and developing those relationships with brands. So while there is, I think an aspect of offering sort of that frictionless, purchase experience through the channels, I do think it's important to drive the customer back to the site. It's one more click. And from there, the customer can learn and experience more of what that brand has to offer, which I think in turn, then, it will has the potential to increase customer retention. Whereas, when you leave the commerce experience to Facebook or Instagram for that matter, I do feel like that, like the brand is lost. And I think that it's almost feeling a bit too commercial. Like we're very, very careful about how promotional we are with our social channels. So we don't tag every single product. We really leverage like Shop as a way, which is a Hudson product, to connect the product and the shopping experience to our social channels. But I think when you think about tagging every single product in your posts, or how Instagram has added like the Shop Now tab, it feels like it's turning, social media, it's going overboard. It's taking it to the next level more than it has to be. And you're sort of losing, the heart and soul of the brand experience.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned a couple things about using Dash Hudson for ecom. Do you have are there any other tactics that you use for AERIN to implement social commerce and still keep that kind of brand experience alive?
Absolutely. So we just recently launched our Dash Hudson Spirit Galleries on our PDPs. So I think it's really important for customers to understand like how our products can fit into their lifestyles, and that can't always be conveyed through traditional product imagery. So the idea of being able to see how our products are integrated in either AERIN's lives or our customers' lives through these galleries, I think are incredibly effective. We're already seeing lots of engagement, and we've just launched this about a week ago. I've also used these galleries as well with previous brands that I've worked for, and they've been incredibly effective in driving conversion. So excited to roll that out and expand it to more products on our site. But I think that's one of the valuable aspects of the Dash Hudson platform.
Thank you. Love to hear that. And for those on the line, I did not tell her to say that, but I love to hear it. So that was our last question for the fireside chat. So thank you so much for those really interesting and thoughtful answers. So at this point, we're going to open it up to the audience to ask Angela a few questions. So I see a couple here in the chat box. If anyone has a question, please enter it into the Q&A. So the first one, Angela, is how do you think brands can increase time on site?
So I think it's with more engaging content. So whether that be through video, more brand narratives, more product information, all of that, I think it's really about the integration of content and commerce. I think the more information that's useful to the customer, the better. I think oftentimes, again, I think that the brand experience gets lost, or there's not enough narratives that are told about the product, so what makes a product special, and that can provide value to the end user. So it's really about the perfect balance of content and commerce.
Awesome. The next question is, what do you think about short form video, and are you incorporating it into your content strategy?
So that's something that we're talking about a lot now. We've utilized it for beauty and for fragrance, and it's proven effective. So I think more short form video, integrating that opposed to still imagery, I think has a lot of opportunity, and it's something that we're talking about for spring 2021 or 2022.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so interesting how TikTok has kind of shaped the culture that way, where people are sort of expecting that now, and it's entertaining. Like, video is very entertaining. I actually love TikTok. I'm just getting into it now, and I'm addicted. So the next question is, have you faced any challenges in getting the best out of data? What has been your approach to this challenge, and how is your internal team working around this?
I think data is always a challenge. I think in this case, and some of my past experience, you have so much data coming from disparate sources, and the goal is to have like one source of truth. I have to say completely transparently, we're not there yet, and I know a lot of other organizations aren't. So I think right now we're leveraging our email marketing platform to, whether that be create flows or try to improve customer retention. I think first party data is obviously coming more, it's more important than ever. And you have to come up with one source of truth. Like, quite honestly, if it's going to be your CRM, or if you have, a CDP in place, I mean, that's obviously the end goal. But I think the organization needs to align and determine what that one source of truth is, and we have to leverage it to our advantage. So like I said today, we are a bit limited and we're not there yet. So what we're using is our CRM from our email marketing platform. And we found that to be incredibly effective in leveraging that data, whether that be audience data or behavioral data for audiences, for social media, or whether that be, paid search. But that first party data is becoming more important than ever, especially with all of the cookie changes within social.
For sure. So the next question is a bit related to the data conversation. So in such a fragmented digital customer journey, how do you measure the impact of campaigns across touch points?
So right now, we do not have the technology in place. So we are looking at, the multi-channel funnels within Google Analytics to understand how our customers are interacting with our brand across different channels. I think that's a very cost-effective, easy way to look at engagement, and not just developing strategies based off of last click, but understanding that your efforts and your investments, let's say, in paid search is influencing, purchase decisions in social, or rather that email. I think now more than ever, it's really that multi-channel approach. And I think that's a really great way to start. And that's how we're looking at the data today.
Definitely. And the last question that we have here today is, how are you working to build trust with customers? That's a good question.
So I think it's really about the way that we communicate to our customers and the value that we provide. So one thing that we're really working on is providing more information about what makes our product unique and special, and ensuring that that is carried through the quality of the product. So AERIN really prides herself on quality and in beauty. And that's something that we do, I think from the production level all the way through to the digital level and through the customer experience. So when our customer service team is speaking with our customers and they're on the edge of making a purchase decision, we're providing that value of what makes this product unique, whether it be where it was produced, the materials it's made of. Like everything we pride ourselves on is really quality. And I think that really builds trust in the eyes of our customers, and then in turn improves retention. So I think it's really about the communication and how we position it on site, and then we ensure that that's carried through the entire product life cycle.
Okay, there's another question here related to that. So someone's asking here about what is AERIN's strategy when it comes to SEO blog content?
So that is actually a work in progress, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's low hanging fruit for the brand. So SEO has never been a big focus, but there is immense opportunity and potential there. So we are working at, from a technical perspective on, structure, as well as things such as H1 tags. But then as we speak about content, that's something that we're also in the process of developing a strategy around. So, again, enhancing our product descriptions so that they provide more value to the customer, and then also help us attract customers from an organic perspective. We did have a blog in the past. I have to say, from what information has been provided to me, it wasn't as effective as they had hoped. And again, I think it's really about, there's a balance. So there's what is valuable from an SEO perspective, and then what is valuable from a consumer perspective. And I really think it's about the integration. So it's a balance of the content and the commerce, and there's ways to integrate that content into the site without creating the blog as a destination. I think that blogs from a brand perspective feel very disconnected. There's more opportunity to integrate that storytelling at the PDP level, which is closer to the point of conversion, or on the PLPs, integrating that within the product grid to provide more information about, whether that be the edit or the category experience. So I would say that I'm a larger proponent of the integration of content within the existing e-commerce experience rather than keeping it separate.
Sure. So it looks like that's about it for the questions. I actually have one more question personally. I'm just curious, Angela, what does your marketing technology stack look like? Like what are you logging into?
So today our tech stack is rapidly evolving. So we're looking at, heat mapping, whether that be like Hotjar, we're looking at Google Analytics on a regular basis, Dash Hudson from a social engagement perspective. Klaviyo is our email marketing platform. We're in that on a daily basis. And we're also in a trial period of a BI tool, which we're actively involved and engaged with. So I think it's very important to understand, consumer behavior at every single touch point. So my team and myself are very actively, engaged with these platforms and looking at the data and the analytics on a daily basis.
Awesome. Great. Well, I think that's it for questions. So I just wanted to thank you so much for this fireside chat. It was really interesting to hear your answers. And thank you to Brand Innovators as well for hosting this lovely fireside chat. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm taking over for Ryan Culp. I'm the Director for Content and Community here at Brand Innovators. Welcome and get ready for the next session of the day. So please give a warm welcome to Anat Ravine, the head of MLive, Marriott's real-time global marketing command center of content marketing at Marriott International. The session will be moderated by Jennifer Braunschweiger, the Senior Director